Today, we're looking at a dev Q&A session for Beyond All Reason and some updates we expect to see in the future. Listen in with me as we check out this interview.
And it is from Tucker and Lambdness. Question is there any updates on the ability to donate to the project?
Yes, well, we are still ironing out the final kinks regarding the legal side of everything, but we are very happy to look forward to the community being able to donate because we are planning to use the donations to cover the cost of servers and for the tournament prize pools naturally as well. So hopefully soon we'll have a little bit more info for that.
This is exciting news for people who love Beyond All Reason, me being one of them. Every opportunity we have to help the dev team out to create a better game means that this game will receive continued updates and continued support for a longer time. If you have the money and opportunity, you can definitely look into this further and see where they are with that support.
Next question we had from Exploratory Orb and Lambdus again is matchmaking implementation. How far is it from completion?
I'll take that one. So in a nutshell, quite far away. And what we're doing is looking very carefully at how all of our players can find games and play together, and that's whether it's with their friends or with random other players. And with matchmaking, we've actually been discussing this with other developers from, some AAA rated games. And what they've shared and the main experience we've taken from that is you've got to get it right. And if you don't, it means that players can have a very wildly different experience of, waiting for games because their skill level means that they have to wait, 10 minutes for a game. And that puts them off playing. So we want to be really careful about how we actually implement that. So we're going to, for now, we're going to focus on making improvements to Open Skill, which is our balancing the algorithm that tracks your rating. So improvements to that, and how that is used to balance the lobbies that we currently have, and making sure that lobbies are available for players of all skill ranges. So that's already done now by the community, and people set up the games that they want, whether it's for noob matches, those new players that are coming in, or for the pro levels where you can set your min and match ratings. And recently, a lot of you would have seen that we bumped the uncertainty level to 2.5. So for those who don't know, that's an indication of how certain our model is about your skill. And when it becomes very certain of your skill, your rating doesn't change. And that's not actually the behavior you want to see. So we've temporarily bumped that. So players can now start to see their match ratings change, even if they're, before on winning and losing streaks, they wouldn't see it change at all. That's not ideal. But what we're really working towards is Season 1. We've already had a Season 0 that implemented some of this. Season 1 is coming up. We'll announce further once we've decided on the aspects of that. But in general, that's the focus for now. And matchmaking, we might come to in the distant future. But for now, we're not focusing on it.
I'm sure we all can be looking forward to the matchmaking for Beyond All Reason. Right now, what we have to deal with is not ideal by any stretch, but they are working on it, and this is something great to see. I know it can be frustrating sometimes to have noob lobbies that kick people, but just keep in mind that it will eventually be fixed, and they recognize there is an issue, and they're working on it currently.
Kind of going into that one, talking about matchmaking, Spiderlag has asked, what do you guys think about the esports scenario for this game?
Yeah, that's another one I can take. So, actually, it's already happening, and you guys must have seen the tournaments we've been having with ever greater prize pools. So we had the 2v2 tournament earlier in the year. Bar Pro League has just finished last week. And now announced, if you have a look in the announcements channel, there's a 5v5 tournament upcoming in March, later in this month. Again, with a massive prize pool sponsored by OP Man. I'll thank you, sir. And in general, if you guys want to, you can also donate to those prize pools. Only if you can, and we're really appreciative of anything you do give to these prize pools, because it makes a big difference. The players that are being drawn into Bard purely because they see actually there is an esports community growing here, and that's a big part of it. And the other part is the balance of the game. So we're really carefully balancing the game to be as competitive as possible, but we don't want to sacrifice the fun elements of the game for even for those pro players. We want them to enjoy the game, and for casual players. So there's lots of changes that you will have seen over the long term, which are now improving that esports side of things as well, and the functionality of the game and how you can control your units and understand what's going in the battlescape. And I think a really good example of that is in the latest 1v1 official tournament. We actually had the final game of a best of 5, sorry, go down to the Tech 3 showdown, which we hadn't seen before. I mean, you do have games like that, of course, but in a 1v1, that's very unusual, and that's a credit to, everyone looking at the balance of the units, the way they interact with each other, and Zekris in particular always looks at how to balance these different units to make them as effective throughout the game as possible.
The fact that they're doing tournaments is really huge for Bar. That leads to the future of a very competitive scene. We really need to see Beyond All Reason become an esport in order for it to really take off. This is definitely something we need to be keeping an eye on, because this will be the way to pull in people from StarCraft and other more competitive RTSs if we can get a solid esports community going.
Moving on to the next question. Nilzon has asked, how is the development of the campaign progressing? And what can you reveal about the campaign? Like how many missions there are, and so on like that.
I think I can answer that one. So we've had in the past few months quite a bit of work going into the campaign framework to make it a form of these actions and triggers where it will make it easy for campaign designers to actually create missions for it. And we do have a few test missions to assess the capability of the code. And we are actually looking for volunteers on that front of people who want to, basically, this would be a test of the pudding in the sense that, we have to try to develop a few missions with this kind of framework and figure out where it needs a little bit more extension and what parts of it work well already. And for looking forward, we would like to have at least a dozen missions for the Armada and the Cortex factions, and that's not including the tutorial. So we already have quite a few ideas and directions in which we want to go with the individual missions, with custom maps for each and every one of them. And if anyone wishes to help out on the campaign side, especially on the coding front, then we are very, very welcome to see them, and just hit us up on Discord at any time.
There's a link in the description and also on my YouTube channel page to the Beyond All Reason website. Definitely go there if you guys are able to support the bar community in any way, either with development or even donations and things of that nature. I know they will be very excited to have any help that you guys may provide.
Okay, so moving on now back to the pre-submitted questions. We'll have another break at the end for more live questions. And moving on to a question from Tucker and an anonymous user. Is there a bar roadmap for 2024? It would be great to know what you're currently working on so that we can look forward to it soon.
Yeah, that's a fantastic question. Players are always eager to see what's coming up, and we're always eager to show. We have a roadmap of sorts. It's technically the Steam roadmap. And it's not keyed to specific times and date lines or anything like that. We can't say that we're definitely going to get a particular feature in 2004, 2005, or, the next month, next week, or whatever. The project is volunteer run, and volunteers, you've got real world concerns that impact how much time you have to be able to contribute to projects. There's no requirement for any contributors to deliver anything by a particular point in time. It's just not practical. It's not like we're being paid and we're professional and stuff like that. Well, we try to deliver professional quality work, we obviously have to do it in the time that we have available. So we have a roadmap, but we can't tie it to it's going to happen at any particular point in time, any particular date. But also said that it's available. The Steam roadmap is available on our website under develop. From the top menu, I think it's like development and then Steam release. You'll be able to see the roadmap there. We're going to look at the roadmap. It's time for us to review that, update it to more actually reflect what our intentions are and what's going on. So certainly keep an eye on that space.
A Steam release is in the future, guys, and that is something I am really excited about. We should see an influx of new players at that point, and the game will be largely polished as well, so you'll see a significant change by that point. I know they did mention also in the dev Q&A that the game will remain free regardless of the launch on Steam, but that also means that we need to support them even more as they continue to develop. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.